Get ready for a heart-pounding journey into the unknown. This movie introduces us to a shadowy figure known only as H. This enigmatic man takes a job with an armored truck company that has been repeatedly targeted by robbers, but it quickly becomes clear that he is no ordinary security guard.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be watching the movie Wrath of Man. The movie starts with two Fortico security guards running into a cement truck. A gunman emerges out of the truck followed by the rest of his team, and they start attacking the truck to force the guards out to take the money bags. Gunshots were fired during the heist. Then we move to another scene where a man named Patrick Hill, known as H, starts working at Fortico 3 months after the heist incident. He is assigned to Bullet to train him. Bullet introduces H to the other guards at the company, including Boy Sweat Dave, who is hostile to H. Their boss Terry brings up the last truck incident and reminds them it resulted in the deaths of the 2 guards and a civilian who happened to be at the scene. When a different guard discovers that H is replacing him, he too tries to agitate H, but H quietly manages to convince the man to leave without a confrontation. Armed thieves manage to capture Bullet to force H and Dave to stop their armored truck while on a job. They ask H and Dave to drive to a specified place, then spray the truck with black paint. Dave is terrified, but they are trying to save Bullet. The thieves ask H to toss the cash bags into the back of a pickup truck, but he intentionally drops one truck to force the gunman to come and immediately shoots him in the head. He then starts shooting at the other assailants before chasing and killing their leader. Terry questions H's performance at work, but Fortico CEO Blake Halls praises him and believes he deserves a promotion. The other guards congratulate him on his bravery. H is brought in to see video of the earlier truck heist to see if any of the gunmen looked familiar, but he couldn't recognize any of them, even when he seemed interested in one particular gunman. The 2 agents are working for an agent by the name of King, who believes that H would point him and his team toward the band of robbers who committed the initial crime. White out on the job, the criminals attempt another robbery and try to smoke H and Dave out of their truck. The gunmen seem to recognize H when he emerges out of the truck and immediately flee. Bullet sensed some dark history behind H and called him a dark fucking spirit. H had a romantic relationship with Adana, another security guard. He discovers a pile of cash in her apartment and questions her to find out that she stole that cash from her prior employer. You now see H asking his colleague Kirsty to provide him with some files. During a flashback, you see H with his son Dougie, who was on vacation in the United States. H receives a call from Mike, his old criminal boss. Mike asks H for his help with one final job. H would help Mike by telling him which direction the truck is going. H drives Dougie close to the docks where the robbery is planned to occur, and goes out to get food for both of them. When the cement truck arrives to carry out the robbery, Dougie is asked to exit his van by one of the gunmen. H sees what's happening and runs to save his son, but the gunman with a scar near his eye shoots and kills Dougie, and he also repeatedly shoots H. After H wakes up from his coma 3 weeks after the incident, he learns that Dougie is dead. Jane, his ex-wife, blames him for their son's death. Mike and his group meets with H and feel guilty for what happened to Dougie. They offer to help H search for the attackers. The group then start their search hunt and violently interrogates some gangs to give them some name. They finally give them the names of criminal brothers, which H goes to visit in a building where the brothers keep women as sex slaves. H murders the brothers and frees the women. H worked at Fortico for a reason. He took notice of the guards, and that's why he asked Kirsty to get him their background checks and the Dougie's autopsy report. Jackson, the leader of the group responsible for the initial robbery, introduces his group to the viewers. Jan, who killed Dougie and shot H, and the others Sam, Tom, Brad, and Carlos. They are discussing the truck robbery at one of Jackson's kids' party. The group sees H and Dougie pull in before starting the robbery. It was Sam who asked Dougie to get out of the van and onto the ground during the robbery. Jan loses control and kills the 2 guards with a single gunshot. After noticing that Dougie had seen him, he kills him and shoots H to cover his tracks. Following this deadly heist, the group is now preparing for their next and last robbery with over $150 million to divide among them and their inside man. Tom and Jackson discuss their plan for weeks in advance, but are worried about Jan's history of not following their plan. Jackson assures them that Jan will obey the instructions. The team heads to Fortico headquarters, where Bullet admits to H that he is the inside man. That helps the robbers with insider information about which trucks to attack. Jackson and his team start the robbery, and Bullet kills a guard, Dana and Dave, after his cover was blown. H puts a good fight and kills some of the robbers, but Bullet manages to shoot and disable him. But H recognizes Jan before they leave. Police arrive on the scene and engage with the robbers in a gunfight. Jackson is shot in the neck in the car with Jan and Bullet. When they are forced to abandon the truck, Jan slits Jackson's throat. Now Bullet, sensing Jan's betrayal, he attempts to kill him, but Jan manages to kill him first and proceeds to escape with the money. Later on, we see that Jan is getting ready to run, when he receives a call. H appears and throws Dougie's autopsy report, which states that he was shot in his liver, spleen, lungs, and heart. H then shoots Jan in those exact spots, making sure to keep his heart for last. He then meets with King outside and tells him that the job is now completed, and he can proceed to take the stolen money, and gets into a car and leave. In the final moments of Wrath of Man, H finally achieves his long-awaited revenge. After confronting and defeating the gang responsible for his son's death, he comes face to face with the man who pulled the trigger. This movie takes you on a thrilling ride that packs a punch from start to finish. With an all-star cast led by the incomparable Jason Statham, this movie is a masterclass in action filmmaking. Director Guy Ritchie expertly weaves a complex plot filled with twists and turns that keeps audiences engaged and on the edge of their seats. Statham gives a powerful and brooding performance as H, a man on a mission to avenge the death of his son. The action sequences are top-notch, with intense shootouts and chase scenes that will leave you breathless. However, what sets this movie apart is its emotional depth. It's not just a mindless action flick, but a story about loss, grief, and the toll that seeking vengeance can take on a person. The movie has a rating of 7.1 on IMDb and 67% on Rotten Tomatoes. I hope you all liked this video. If yes, then make sure to like, comment, and most importantly subscribe to the channel for more movie recaps.